it, Mr. Wendell.
But they been in office 30, 40 years, but you know, you have to say this time. That bothers me, man.
Yeah, it bothers me well, and you know, that's why I turned down the background music a little bit while you said that. Get inspired.
I do one bad decision after another. We don't get anything out of the deal. We just don't get anything out of the deal. And so, and for me, I got here before the roof is on fire. I stood enough for this crap that we get that really got us targeted for zero wealth on average per capita in 2053. Probably pull back down to 2043 as a result of this deal.
Without knowledge, you shall perish.
Oh, yeah.
Some people perish from a lack of knowledge.
That's right. I'm not trying to some knowledge, please, brother.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Soapbox Heroes. I hope you had time over the break to go get your proclivities, it's Friday, whatever it is that you do on Friday. Some people drink beer, and some people drink water, cranberry juice. I'm not casting any aspersions. I just hope that you had time to go get what you had to get, so we could lock in for a little while, so we could really, really talk about it. Hey, you guys, so look, today I noticed that Jacob Blake appeared in front of a judge today. Yes, Jacob Blake, the man in Wisconsin that we saw get shot 7 times in the back. Not one time, not 2 times, not 5 times. I had to skip all the way, for dramatic effect. 7 times, all right, in his back. He's now paralyzed. All right. And so I want to read a little bit of this story, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what it is that bothers me, because it's, to some, it may not be the obvious, but you guys know that I'm strange sometimes. I'll be looking at things and saying, doesn't make any sense. So this article here, it's from CNN US. All right. It says, CNN, wearing a blue dress shirt and a yellow tie, Jacob Blake paralyzed after being shot in the back by a Kenosha, Wisconsin police officer, made a first court appearance and his public appearance since being wounded. Okay, so that was his first public appearance and the first time people have seen him since being wounded. And wounded, I don't think wounded gives enough gravity to being shot 7 times. I think if we're going to talk about dramatic effect, I think shot 7 times is a little more appropriate than wounded. Wounded. I have a wound on my hand. I got a paper cut earlier, and that's considered a wound. So, and I know words are varying sometimes, and sometimes they're blanketed and can go from one variation to another variation based on severity. But on this one, I'm going to say, wounded is just taking a little bit away from what actually happened. Okay, Blake is accused of 1 felony, 3rd-degree sexual assault, and misdemeanor criminal trespassing and disorderly conduct. Okay, he spoke briefly to the judge when asked if he understood the charges against him. When he asked if he had any questions, Blake responded, "At the moment, no, I don't." His attorney, Patrick Cafferty, submitted a not guilty plea on all 3 charges. All right. The charges were prior to and unrelated to the August 23rd shooting incident. Let's remember that date, August 23rd. That wasn't that long ago, right? It's the 9th of September. I want you to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that this guy was shot in the back 7 times and he's now paralyzed. Just keep all these crumbs we putting down, going somewhere with this, all right? Blake was left paralyzed by the shooting. He was initially in the intensive care unit, but his conditions have improved, his family said, all right? The judge approved a $10,000 signature bond for Blake in addition to the $500 cash already in place as bail. The bail agreement was signed and Blake is allowed to leave the state only for medical treatment. Again, he got shot in the back 7 times. Pow, 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 pow. What, 2 weeks ago? It's the 4th now, right? It's happened on the 23rd, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something to that nature. He can't leave the state. Now, the thing, I do understand that if you have charges already, if you have things that are under investigation, or if you have warrants or stuff, these things have to be taken care of, all right? I'm going to tell you guys what bothers me. So as I peruse through the papers today, and, I go through different articles, to be honest with you guys, I probably look at about 20 different publications a day, starting when I first wake up to when I'm going to bed and I'm trying to go to sleep. That put me to sleep, finding out something new. and so I'm starting to look and I'm saying, well, they did a conference call. They did a video call with them. Okay, understood. Nobody's moving around right now, COVID. And again, I understand that there is a process when it comes to law. I get it. I understand. But what I didn't understand was, I'm going to read it to you guys and see if you guys kind of get where I'm getting, because I said it already and I read it, and I'm going to read it again, all right? Wearing a blue dress shirt and a yellow tie, Jacob Blake paralyzed after being shot in the back by a Kenosha, Wisconsin police officer, all right? Now, this is what bothers me. The man got shot in the back 7 times. Now, if he is able to go to court, if he is able to appear in court, and he has he's cognitively ready, physically ready, I get it. I understand. That is the process. These are the things that you have to do as a citizen of the country. But my question is this: he is laid up in the bed. The man is paralyzed. And again, these are charges. It doesn't mean you're guilty. They're charges. All right. And we got to remember that you are innocent until proven guilty. And so I'm not saying that the charges are real or false. I don't know. But what I'm saying is they made this man get in a dress shirt and a tie after being shot in the back 7 times. The audacity. Here, you know what? Get up. We have to put this shirt on you. We have to take the gown off of you. Let's go through the process. We've all seen a hospital before. So you're laying in the bed, and you already been handcuffed to the bed. Oh yeah, he's been handcuffed to the bed. And I know you've only been shot 7 times, like you say in the article, wounded. So you just go ahead and we're gonna sit you up and we're gonna take off this gown, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put a dress shirt on you. We're gonna put this dress shirt on you so you can appear to be a good, upstanding black man. Let's be honest. That's why you have to do it. That's why you have to do it. I understand when people say you're supposed to respect the court and respect the decorum. This guy just got shot 7 times. He got shot 7 times, and you mean to tell me that these people decide that? And I don't know who it is. I don't think it's the judge. I don't think it's the court, but somebody in his corner, maybe his lawyer, maybe somebody in his family, I don't know, but decided that, it would be equitable if you put on a tie. Now, this is the thing. We often talk about code switching. And code switching is when you have to change what it is that is your natural dialect to fit in somebody else's society, in someone else's culture. When you go to the if you normally talk like this, what's up, Joe? What's up, Joe? Hey, Paris, P.E., what you doing, man? If that's your dialect and that's how you speak, it's when you have to go into the corporate world and, hello, my name is Thurston, and I would like to make sure that we don't equivocate any. It's when you change your personality, when you change your inflection, when you change your diction, not because you want to, but because you have to be accepted by a certain group of people. If that's what's bothering me, why do we have to put on a shirt and tie to be accepted? Does a shirt and tie mean he's a better person? What's the shirt and tie? Is that assimilation? And I think that's what's bothering me, because it would seem as if somebody just got shot in the back, the last thing you'd worry about is what they're wearing. But that's America. See, these are things that we don't talk about when we talk about the landscape and things that we are living in and try to, things that we are weeding our way through. And these are some of the silent battles that kind of they get overlooked. They get overlooked. I mean, there's nothing here saying, hey, who decided that the guy needs to wear a shirt and tie? And again, come on, let's think about it. He just found out that he's paralyzed. And again, I'm not talking about whatever the charges are, but I am talking about this. Now we have this man litigating in public. He just got shot in the back 7 times, and now he has to go on trial in public. But you better put that tie on. You don't want the people to think bad about you. You better go ahead and put on that button-up shirt. You got to make the best appearance you can for the judge. And that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me. Code switching doesn't only come through linguistics. It comes through sometimes, the way you talk, but also the way you walk, the way that you carry yourself. And code switching, in my humble opinion, is having to put on a shirt and a tie after being shot 7 times in the back to make a good impression on these people. But that's just the way I feel about it. That's just the way I feel about it. And reading this stuff, and again, I do understand that there is a process in which the law is handled. I get it. There's a time in the process where you go to court and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. But earlier, before we started, I said today's show was about humanity. Where's the humanity? Where's the humanity? And I mean in an overall sense, to where this is expected. To where when you comb through these articles and you comb through these stories, there's not too many people saying, hey, buddy, why you make the man put on a shirt and tie? He's paralyzed, for God's sake. It's not a part of the question. So to be accepted in today's society by the upper crust means what? It means you can't be who you are. It means you have to get dressed up after getting shot in the back. I mean, maybe if he got shot once, maybe a suit and a blazer or something, but 7 times? And again, this has nothing to do with guilt or innocence. But now he has to deal with that. See, he lived. And now that he has lived, now he has to live the rest of his life in public after being shot by the police. Look, if he didn't get shot by the police 7 times, and actually a victim, and it don't matter how you feel about it, because I've heard people say, and I don't want to say it doesn't matter. That's not fair. But I'm going to say this. I have heard people say, well, he shouldn't have walked away. He shouldn't have went to the car. He had his kids in the car. Why would he put them in danger? What kind of man is that? I've heard all these things. And I'm going to say one thing to them. I understand where you're coming from, but 7 shots is excessive. 7 shots is excessive. And you know what's even more excessive is somebody thinks that this man needs to put on a freshly pressed shirt and a tie to make a good presentation. You know, when they say you got to run faster, jump higher, you got to sing better, you got to be able to moonwalk and run forward at the same time. You got to do the impossible. You got to get dressed up after getting shot just to make these people think that you are less of a predator. Now, where do we get this from? Where do we get this from? And it's almost ingrained. It is almost ingrained to where we have to feel like, you know what, to impress these people, I have to acquiesce to this. This is almost like what we were seeing with the young kids and the dreadlocks, and they were calling it inappropriate when these kids had dreadlocks, and kids were cutting off their dreadlocks because they wanted to fit into the narrative of what somebody else felt they should look like aesthetically. Some people were even doing it naturally without even being told, just like, hey, you know, if they want it, I'm gonna get accepted over here. I have to completely acquiesce to what they want me to look like aesthetically, even if this is my culture, if this is my religion, if this is something that has been in me since I was a child, and this is my expression, I have to cut it off. To me, that's very much akin to this. Again, and my question is, I wonder if there are any studies, because I don't want to be anecdotal with this. Are there any studies that show that dressing up after getting shot 7 times makes the judge think you're a better guy? Somebody send me that study, please. Anytime, any day, I'll be here. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. But that's what I'm trying to say, you guys. Sometimes I don't understand the pressure. The pressure. And again, I haven't read anywhere. I don't believe that a judge or a court put out an order for him to dress up. It's just the natural thought process that we feel like we have to do certain things to be accepted. And again, I understand that the court has a decorum and they have rules. But again, when we're talking about humanity, this man just got shot. He just got shot. If I'm the nurse and I'm helping him put on this shirt, I'm like, oh, excuse me, let me move the gauze off your 6th gunshot wound, so you're bleeding a little bit, you know, so you can look good for the court, so you can look good. Maybe they'll think you're a better person. And I don't think the shirt has anything to do with who you are as a person. And like I said, the reason that it touched me a little bit, I'm gonna lie, you guys, it touched me a little bit. Because sometimes I find it challenging to move forward in certain arenas without said assimilation. And I don't think it's quite right. I don't think it's quite right, but I do think that we are so used to it to where it's ingrained. Hey, baby, I know you just got shot 7 times, but you know you got to put on your good shirt for the judge. You got to put on your good shirt for the judge. Get over here to the phone line. They hung up. Said, Tyrone, stop talking about this man's shirt. Very nice shirt. But like I said, you guys, it just makes me think of the things that we sometimes have to do to just be accepted, to the point to where we don't even have to be told. Just kind of do it. Just kind of do it. It's like, I'm going to go see the judge and going to put on my Sunday outfit in hopes that he sees a better person in me. Which is funny because I don't get it. I don't get it. People have, you can clearly see what somebody has done based on their record and their dossier and things like that. But again, thirst is nothing. Appearance is everything. This is Soapbox Heroes, you guys. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back and we got some more stuff to get into, most definitely. The phone number is 713-668-1230. Again, NBA fans, National Basketball Association fans, I got a question for you good people. I have been reading on the internets, on the Googles, on the Facebooks, different opinions. I've heard people say, well, the NBA is not I repeat, are not giving black head coaches a fair shake. And I don't want to get into the details of that today because, you know, I've heard opinion go both ways. But to the people who feel that way, are you still watching the game? Because if you feel something is institutionally racist towards your people, are you participating in it? If you perpetuate that cycle by continuing to help them getting paid, by giving them your attention and your dollars and your money. And you don't have to pay them directly, because if you watch it, that just means that the advertising dollars is going to be worth it to the advertisers because you're watching it anyway. Look, some of these things is like this. Nothing is for free. Sometimes you're just the product. This is Soapbox Heroes. We're going to get into that when we come back. I hope you guys said, look, don't go too far. Don't go too far. We're going to be right back to you, you guys. Right back. That, Steve Nash got a job as a head coach, and he got a job before other qualified people. People are bringing up Jackson and other people along those lines, and they are saying that, the NBA is not giving a fair shake to the brothers when it comes down to head coaching jobs. And so I understand that sentiment. I understand that thought. And then when we look at it, we can see things like this. We see that Michael Jordan is he the only? Is he the only African American owner in the NBA? Michael Jordan, and he had to be the best player in the world ever, arguably. Ralph would say that it's Wilt Chamberlain, but he's not here. So I don't have to defend that argument right now. So Michael Jordan had to be the best player. He had to do so much for basketball, and so he is a head coach. Okay, and so I'm not saying the only reason he's a head coach is because of what he's done, but I'm saying look at the accomplishments and his achievements, and I can see it. But then when we look at the other owners, these guys have never even played a game of basketball ever. They look more like squash guys, But again, so I can see it. I can see what people are talking about when they are talking about the misrepresentation of coaches, owners, in high-level positions in accordance to the number of players in the NBA that are Black. I see it. My question is this. If you are going to, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a gripe. Gripes come in life. Your gripe is your gripe. My gripe is my gripe. Sometimes our gripes are our gripes. And my question is this, though. If that is a true gripe of yours, do you still watch it? Do you still support it? Because that's really not a rock in a hard place type of thing either, because you literally don't need basketball. I don't think that you would just be walking up the street and evaporate if you just didn't watch the game. So this isn't an essential. This isn't a necessity. So my question is, are you still going to watch, participate as a fan, post comments, call your buddy and tell him about how the game was stolen by the referee because he didn't call that foul? Are you still going to do that at the same time you say, hey, these people are racist? Because it seems to be going contrary to the point. If I go to a restaurant and they spit in my food, I'm not going to go back. If I'm dealing with somebody and I feel that the treatment is very unfair, and it's something that I feel like I need to talk about and get off my chest, and I'm livid at times about it, I'm not going to participate. And so my thing is that, especially if it's not a need, I'm not talking about the water company. I'm not talking about your electrical company. I'm not talking about going to the hospital and having to deal with somebody who may or may not like you. I am talking about an elective. Basketball is simply an elective. It's entertainment. I am literally talking about entertainment. So, for example, if I'm watching a show and this show offends me, and I get out there and I'm talking about how much this show offends me, this show bothers me, what they are doing on this show is not right. They are not hiring enough black people. The cast is making us look bad. We're not getting enough representation. Bad. The show's bad all the way around. How would you look at me if the next day I jump on the air and be like, ooh, did you see that show? Did you see that show? It was wonderful. Did you see the end? You would say, Tyrone, wait a minute. I thought you just said that the show was going contrary to what you believe in. And so that's my question when it comes to the NBA. Are we, and not just the NBA, the NFL as well? I got a question, you guys. Look, on topic, but off topic. Is Colin Kaepernick on the team? Let me ask again. Is Colin Kaepernick on the team? Because I remember, it wasn't too long ago, there were people that had vowed to never watch football again. I'm never, ever gonna watch a game until they give Colin Kaepernick a chance. And it was very popular for a minute, and we had commercials about it, and we had brothers standing together saying, we are never gonna do it. How long did that last? And so what I'm asking is, will people respect you if you don't make them? I mean, you know, everybody, again, we're talking about humanity. So people with a lack of humanity are not going to respect anything that you do not make them respect. And Twitter finger and thumb thugging and all that stuff, that is not enough to move the proverbial needle. You got to be able to do more than that. You go, what's that song? The Migos got a song. Walk it like you talk it. Take you back a little further. My dad used to say, boy, you better believe it. Fat meat is greasy. I'm gonna ask you guys, is fat meat greasy? So if you feel as if these people are intentionally being racist and overlooking people and overlooking black men, then why would you support the system in which they are doing that by continuously giving them your audience participation? What's the deal? It's like, you know, it's swinging in the wind in an open field, hoping to knock something out. And I just don't get it. And so that was something that I wanted to ask. I wanted to put out there. And, you know, I see on social media here, over there. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. I just had to get the topic off. I just had to get it. I'm not going to dwell upon it. I promise, because we're about to switch up right now. But that is something that crossed my mind. I'm like, hey, if we are really, really angry about this, if there's a certain amount of vitriol that is being had by people, how can you be vitriolic towards something and still participate in it? I mean, again, this is an elective. It's not like you're going to earn money to feed your children. In fact, sometimes this costs you money. It costs you money. And so, again, I'm not saying that nobody's wrong. I'm not saying that anybody's right. It's just a question. I just want to know, you know, I talk about strategy sometimes. And it would seem as if that is a bad strategy. That is like catching your spouse cheating on you and say, you know what you did was really, really wrong. I'm really, really mad. And if you do it again, I'm just going to tell you that you were really, really wrong and that I'm really, really mad. And if you keep on doing it, ooh, by golly, I'm really going to tell you how mad I am and how much that I don't like you doing it. Am I ever going to leave? Nah. But I'm going to be really mad. Lord have. What's going on with you guys? You guys quiet over there today. Quiet in the chat. What's up? Can you guys hear? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? What's going on, you guys? So that's my question. I want to know, because I hear people talk about the NBA and the owners, and they say, and the coaches and their races for, not hiring qualified black coaches before they give other people a chance. And I get the sentiment. But my question is, how can you say that and still watch it every week? How does that work? How does that work? How can you say that? How can you say the NBA is racist because they're not hiring more black coaches, but then go and watch the game, buy a jersey, and help them not fix that problem? It's like that's being a part of the problem at that point. Is that right or wrong? Am I missing something? Because I miss things. It happens. It happens. We about to get back to it.
And stuff, they don't want to, they call the police when they see it in neighborhoods, but every rich white entertainer you see, they got a big 6'5" individual as they fight.
This for you, legend. You asked for some temptations. Here you go. Watch them smiling faces. Just smile back. But they can still be lying. This is Soapbox Heroes. We're going to be right back. Can you dig it? Trying to slow down the smiling faces. Faces, faces, stay alive. And I got the truth. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. You know, my technical singing isn't really good, but in my mind, that sounds like Johnny Gill. My. I hear somebody out there saying, shut up, Tyrone. Just talk. I'm going to listen. Hey, you guys, I want to talk about, again, when we started off, we were talking about humanity and the lack thereof. And this is what really, really made me want to touch on this, because as we're living in this time of the pandemic, and we have people who are out of work, we have people who haven't been able to make money, we have people who've been sick, bedridden, we have people who are owed money by other people who aren't able to make money, so they can't pay money. We got companies that are holding debts because they're saying, well, we're waiting on another stimulus. There are all kinds of reasons right now that people are doing bad. And then we have to couple that with social economical problems that we have had already prior to COVID. Sometimes, I've noticed this. Sometimes, let's say a hurricane will come through and people want to show the neighborhood, and they say, well, the neighborhood was ravished by the hurricane. But the people who live around there, or the people who drive through certain places, they'll tell you, well, that place was ravished 30 years before the hurricane. 30 years before the hurricane. So sometimes we have damage already done, and then when you have a problem, it's added collateral damage. Because I'm not going to be the one to make it like everything was roses and peachy for everyone pre-COVID, because we were already seeing changes in the markets, changes in the job numbers, changes in the confidence of people as far as financial prosperity. We were already seeing it. People were already being evicted from their homes. We were already seeing, we got to back up. We can already back up, and we can look at it in its totality. A lot of these things were already being predicted. You know, we got inflation, you know, with the Feds cutting, you know, interest rates and, you know, pumping so much liquidity into the market, and people down low have been getting squeezed out for a while now. Squeezed out. And sometimes the person that's getting squeezed the hardest has the slightest of voice. And that's what we miss sometimes, you know, and we listen to the people who have it all, And the people who have it all often have the biggest platform. They have their soapbox. They can be heroes. But sometimes we overlook the people who are already struggling, and then we get hit with something like the pandemic and they're struggling even more. And I know sometimes we have a habit of only looking at the problems that go on behind our doors. And when we leave, that's your problem. Get it? Especially with all this stuff going on. But I wanted to talk about humanity because of this. I saw a story earlier about evictions right here in Houston, H-Town. And it made me say, where is the humanity? And you guys often hear me talk about politicians and politics. And sometimes I'll say something like this. I'll say, oh, they're all the same. And when I'm saying that, my arms are flailing in the air, and you can hear the dismay in my voice when I say they're all the same. Well, when I say that, I mean a personality type. I mean, when you have people that'll do anything it takes to get to the top, they will say anything that needs to be said to stay in close proximity to power or have that power themselves. I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem. And when you have people with the lack of humanity elevating to the top of these offices, elevating to your city and local office to where they have control over things that go on in your life, if they have a lack of humanity, what do you expect people to act like? Real quick, Jacob Blake, when we started talking about Jacob Blake, he got shot in the back 7 times. And the reason that that officer very well may get away with it is because humanity is not legislated in the law. Nobody tells a police officer, you know what, be humane when you go out. No, they say, go out and execute your job. And you'll hear it. You'll say, oh, and that's when you hear it, I'm only doing my job. Because that job doesn't require any humanity. And now we're talking about evictions. When we're talking about evictions, the height of COVID, people can't just go out and get jobs. We got kids in school at home. And everybody can't afford that either. Because if you think everybody got broadband internet and access to all the things that everybody thinks that everybody has, that is not true. A few weeks ago, I saw somebody. Well, I was at Best Buy, and the person at the front, the guy that looks at everything, says, hello, how are you doing? And says goodbye when you come in and out. The security guard, because his job is to look at you and profile you. That's his job. All right. Well, he was making fun of somebody who had got caught trying to steal a Windows 10 program. Now, Windows is the operating system for a computer. Now, me personally, I didn't think there was anything funny, because who wants to steal an operating system for a computer besides somebody who needs that computer to do something to move forward? Somebody wants to steal Office 10. Hey, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go out and I'm going to steal this boring product because I just want to sit and just diddle-daddle on the computer. That's not the case. And so humanity, we have these things going on, and again, it's hot outside, and people are getting evicted. Not by the ones and the twos, not by the 10s and the 20s, by the hundreds. By the hundreds. And the reason I brought the politicians earlier is because, see, you'll hear this hyperbole coming out of their mouth about how much they care. I really care. I really care. And then you might even hear somebody say something about evictions. But somebody point out the politicians that are fighting for the people who are getting evicted the way that they were fighting for the first stimulus that got voted on 96 to nothing and sent all that money to the top, the biggest wealth transfer in the history of the country. They did in a few days. Bye. But when it comes down to evictions, it's like, we shouldn't do it. But there's nobody fiercely fighting for this. There's nobody out there literally trying to say, you know what, I'm going to put my re-election on this. There's nobody really championing the cause. Now I get it. Lip service is one thing. That's all lip service is. But who's tangibly trying to do something? And so when I say these people are the same, yes, I get it. I get it. They have different ideologies to a certain extent. To a certain extent, because right now, if you're a neoliberal and you're a neoconservative, you guys are kind of the same. Just keep it real. Just keep it real. But when we talk about all these people that are getting evicted, where's the city officials that are going to stand up and say, you know what, I'm going to stake my career on this? Now, they're going to say, well, you know what, we should do something about it and point to each other, but who is feverishly fighting this problem? City level, national level, state level. Who? Who means it with the depth of the conviction of their soul, like their life depended on it? Because when they want your vote for something, they fight for it like their life depends on it. But this is affecting people. But again, are we missing the people that are being affected? Because are we not seeing this? It makes me laugh. The other day, I'm watching police officers hide in a poor neighborhood, back the car up, get in a position to where nobody can see them. And the street, and from block to block is only about a quarter mile. So how fast can you go? So they're hiding so they could give people tickets for going 5, 6, 7 miles above the speed limit. But again, remember, we're in a pandemic. People can't afford certain things. So why are we levying further taxes on them when we're supposed to be having some humanity? But where are the elected officials to really talk about the humanity? See, lip service is one thing. But we talked about a song earlier, Walk It Like You Talk It. Because talking is easy. You know what? I'm 6'4" and I play on the Knicks. Is that true? No, but I can say it and make you feel good. And so sometimes we have to look at the small things. I hear it. I get it. It's election season. Everybody's the bad guy. Everybody's the good guy. But what do you really mean? And so I'm going to play this. And this is something that I got. And it's CNN. It's CNN. Because that's going to make it true. I got to find it from CNN to make it true for you. Because if it came from somewhere else, you'd say, Tyrone, I didn't hear it from CNN, so it cannot be true. So let me get over here and play this. And again, I'm thinking the humanity. Where's the humanity? Where's the humanity?
From one Houston home to the next, Deputy Benny Gant with the Harris County Constable's Office executes judge's orders to evict. Israel Rodriguez is the tenant at this apartment, but he's not alone. 20-month-old Israel, his brother, 4-year-old Fabian, and their mother are some of the estimated 40 million Americans.
Oh, thank you.
Rodriguez hasn't been rent behind thousands of dollars.
It's my fault on the eviction. It was like going out there in the car. When it hit, I lost my job. So it took me like a month to get another job. This is my check, but I ain't making it with $300. It's literally $300.
Their stroller now carries their possessions.
And mainly the kids' clothes because me and her wear the same clothes almost every day. Make sure we got, toilet paper, a little bit of snacks for the kids.
What are you gonna do with all of your stuff?
That's trash. They can do it in the trash because we don't have a car, we don't have help, we don't have nobody.
For this week. Again, for dramatic effect, let me do it. Not 2, not 20, not 22, not 122, not 198, not 199, 200. 1 week.
That's double what they normally saw for an entire month before COVID. 100 on one day. What does that say to you?
Well, what that means
evictions is that they're ready to start having people removed from properties.
They're ready to start having people removed from properties. Who are they? So we're talking about owners. We're talking about owners who go down and get a judge to sign off on the eviction. All right. But again, where's the humanity? Where are these officials here? If you guys go ahead and make the homeowners whole, make them whole to where, you know, the rent will be paid for. Because again, now are we already forgetting how much money that the banks got? Are we already forgetting about the billions and billions that the bank got so they could be solvent through this problem? So not only did they get paid to pad themselves from this, they're also going to kick you out. But they got the money for it, right? They got the money for it. And all this officer is doing his job. But who gives him the parameters of his job? It's going to be one of these people who say, I really, really care about the people. I really, really care about the people.
It is a backlog. One of America's hardest hit cities in evictions.
I don't really want to put her out here, but I have to. When we talk about laws and when we talk about rules and when we talk about effectively executing these laws, they don't have any humanity in them. They don't have any humanity in them. This man here says he got 6 kids. And he just had to put somebody out of their home with a 24-month-old child. You don't think that eats at a person? Or eventually make you have to be a certain type of person? Either way it goes. Look at the human cost on both sides. So I'm not blaming anybody in the scenario. I'm not even the officer. Like he said, he's just doing his job. But where are people to make sure that that job isn't so inhumane to where this man, the first people that they showed, they were a couple. They were a young couple, and they had a young child, and they had to leave all of their belongings in front of the apartment building because they didn't even have a car to drive it in. He said he just lost his job right after COVID. It took him 1 month to be able to get another job. And in that 1 month, you can lose everything that you have. Not because of something you're doing wrong, because a pandemic put people out. Because conditions have already been so low to where people are already living like this. And people that act like everybody who has it hard are just not pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Stop. Think about it. People go through different things. And you know what? They say this is the most prosperous country in the world. A person should be afforded a mistake. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion of that. I do think that people should be afforded a mistake if they are going to come back and try to be productive and try to do the right things. But there are people who are productive and do the right things and are still getting evicted today because you never know where somebody took a turn in life. You never know the mitigating circumstances around why this stranger is getting put out of their home. But again, where is the humanity? And so any politician, nationally, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, I know you guys are listening. Get by the speaker. I gotta talk to you guys like children. Do something about this. Don't just keep telling me about how hurt you are. Don't keep telling me about how, we're going to get the economy driving. I don't want to hear about Orange Man. I don't want to hear about Sleepy Man. Because when it came down to the time to make that money just rise to the top like yeast, that didn't take no time at all. They didn't even read the bill. It didn't even matter what was in it. But now we got people who are getting put out of their homes. And we're just going to drag our feet. We're going to, and what that makes me want to do, that makes me want to go and look up everybody in Congress and see what their investments are and see how many of them have an over-absorbent amount of their portfolio in real estate. Just a thought. Just a thought. But the question still is, where is the humanity?
The landlord's mover, Francisco Munoz, works.
Again, Francisco Munoz. He is the manager's, the mover. He out there moving stuff, even though he doesn't want to. Again, he has to even, put his humanity to the side so he don't be the next person get evicted. So they're putting a lady out right now. You guys, this is Houston, Texas. You know how hot it was today. They got this lady, and she's an elderly lady, and she's sitting outside the home in a chair while they are removing her stuff from the home that she knows. Where are all these good-hearted people at? Where they at? Where? Show me. I got 20/20 vision, and I don't see it. Somebody throw me some glasses. I can't see. But again, we're going to be like, oh, well, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault, and I really, really care. I really, really care. I'm going to follow the actions and not the words. I want to see what you do. I hear what you say. I hear what you say. He said that could be my sister. He said that could be my mom. He said, you never know. Tomorrow, that could be me. And the cold part about it is he still has to keep moving that lady stuff out of her home, even though his humanity is telling him this is wrong. He still has to do it because, see, again, people use the word business. Business is used, the word business is used to take the humanity out of a situation. I'm taking the stuff out of your home, even though you're getting evicted, because this is only business. And I'm not blaming this man because, again, like he said, this could be me next.
Midway through the eviction, Deputy Gann decides it's too dangerous to evict her in the Houston summer heat. I'm not going to put her out here in this heat. And will call social services instead. A one-day reprieve with an uncertain tomorrow.
So he didn't put her out today, but as she's walking back into her apartment, he says, you don't have to leave today, but you got to leave tomorrow. What is that going to do? She apparently already done got nowhere to go. So what you going to do? Give her 24 more hours to worry yourself about it? And again, that was the humanity that he could show, was give her one more day because it was too dangerous for her to sit outside in the heat while she gets evicted. But again, these same banks. Got billions of dollars. It didn't take months. It didn't take weeks. Wasn't a whole bunch of haggling. Again, a 96-0 vote. And so I'm going to harken back earlier to when I said, you know what? In my opinion, they're all the same. I'm not talking about an ideology. I'm talking about the people that will do anything they have to do to get where they want to say anything they have to say, whether or not they mean it or not. I think sometimes when we come to politics, we start to romance and think that it's about caring and love and compassion. It's business. It's business, you guys. And so, hey, look, and so I had to talk about that because, again, I'm just wondering, where is all of this humanity? And this isn't Bangladesh. This is Houston. If you can hear my voice, if it's coming through the radio, I know some of you guys are online. It's happening in your city too, but I'm not talking to you. In fact, I am. Check your city, and you guys check what's going on with these evictions. 30 million of them are slated to happen. And out of that 30 million of them that are slated to happen, who do you think they are going to predominantly happen to? All right, so yeah, if you care about me, you care about the people I love, stop putting them on the streets. All right? Is that a hard request? Is that fair? Is that fair? Am I asking something that I shouldn't be asking for? You know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I can't pursue happiness if I don't got no damn roof over my head. I'm pretty unhappy. Pretty unhappy. And it's very easy for people to just wax poetically about it when they're sitting in hellacious mansions somewhere and eating gelato, sipping on tea and crumpets, talking about, oh, my heart is wrenched over what they are doing to the peasants. I mean, poor people. I'm going to tweet about it. I'm going to tweet about it. What's happening to these poor people? I feel terrible. Elect me. I'm not going to do nothing about it. And so when I say they're the same, again, I'm not talking about every ideology. Of course. One side might want to spend money on nuclear power. The other side might want to spend money on green power. But both of them are going to give it to whichever lobbyist gave them the most money when they was running for that position. That's who gets the jobs, all these pet projects and things like that. So yes, there's always an argument. There's always an argument. The argument is who's going to get the money, you or me, you or me, you or me. But they are going to take the money. Sometimes I look at it like this. It's almost like a game. It's my side and it's your side, and we got the good people over there. Now, I want the money, and you want the money, but the good people need the money. But I want the money because I got people that I got to pay back. They helped me get elected. Now I got this power. I got this seat. You got the same thing going on with you. You got the same thing going on with you? Oh yeah, you do, right? So you got to make sure that the money go up too. Okay. So we agree that we want the money. You want the money? Yes. I want the money? Yes. And the people need the money? Yes. So it's not whether we're going to take the money or not, because, we have the power, so the money's gone. We're taking the money. The argument is really who's going to take the blame, because I got to get reelected, baby. And I don't want these people mad at me for misappropriating their money, even though we're about to misappropriate their money. So what I'm going to do is take the money and blame it on you. And your plan is to take the money and blame it on me. But there's one thing that's for sure: the money's gone. The money's gone. The people didn't have no say-so in that. All right? And again, when we're seeing so much liquidity being pumped into the market, when we're seeing loans being given to Wall Street with no interest rate, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? It would seem as if maybe do something like this. If I could qualify for a loan to get a $30,000 car, why is it the same process for me to qualify for a loan to get a $30,000 loan to open a business? But that's a different subject, right? That's a different subject. That's a subject for people who really care and just don't give this inflection of caring. I'm inflecting like I care. Just like right now, I sound like I'm really, really happy, but this is just inflection. It doesn't mean I mean it. And that's what we get, a lot of inflection, projection, and dog doo-doo. So yeah, you guys, we got to hold people responsible. We got to hold people to task. If we don't hold them to task, what are they going to do? Hey, Betty Boo, how are you? Hey, Carla. Hey, mama, my mama's watching me. Hey, that boy crazy. No, I'm not. Hey, mom. But yes, but that's why sometimes I get so flustered is because we focus in so much on things that are really almost asinine. And we're missing the big picture. Missing the big picture. See, it's one thing. See, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to get Trump out of office. But what good is that going to do me if people are still getting evicted when times get hard and the money's still going to the top? Qualified immunity is something that nobody want to talk about. Yes, qualified immunity. That's the reason we see police officers able to just have the levity to pop you 7 times and go home. Who's talking about these things? I'm not talking about decriminalization of marijuana. I'm talking about legalization. You know what decriminalization means? You can still get in trouble. You can still be fined. You know what fines turn into? Debts. You know what debt turns into? You can't get this apartment. You know what that turns into? I got to do something to pay it. I think I'm going to go around me to the liquor store now. So we got to watch out for words and language and the way that things are presented, because it's presented in a way to where it seems like, hell, that's swell. That doesn't mean that that's the case, y'all. That doesn't mean that that's the case. We got to be politically savvy. We have to look at this with more than our emotions and our feelings, and we have to look strategically. So yes, it's not just about one person. It's about the system. It's about the system. You don't want to just kill one cancer cell. You want to eradicate the disease. Even though that cell is the most annoying cell, boy, that sucker annoying, and but you gotta eradicate all of it. And this is what I have been noticing, and it's like, let's say you have somebody who is a known thief. Everybody know he's a thief. Everybody know he's a thief. You know what that does? That gives room for the people who are thieves that other people don't know. They can steal, and they know that you're only going to focus on the person that you know is the thief. So my pockets are full, but you're looking at the guy that is known as a thief, even though that I'm a thief too. And that's what we're seeing. So look at the way that these people vote. Look at what they're doing. It's more than just words. It's more than just words. And this is a process. First, if they tell you the words, you got to make them stand to the words. And if they don't stand to the words, then it's up to you to hold them accountable and get them out of there. You cannot let people think they could just abuse you. I am tired of this abusive relationship that I am having with politics. I am tired of it. I feel abused. You can pee on somebody and call them rain, but it's still pee. Still pee. When it dry off, it's going to stink. It's going to smell repugnant. It's not going to smell like rain, even though they're telling you it's rain. Yes, I know that. I know it. I know what that smells like. It smells like bodily fluid. But that's just rain. Don't worry about it. Oh, man. Look, it just gets to you guys. It just gets to me because I know that we all want to see the right things. It's just we got people that play with us. They play with us to get what they want. And again, even that part I understand, because I understand that it's a chess game. We just got to figure out our place on the board and how to make the correct moves. But hey, you guys, look, I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I am going to get into a chart that I was reading earlier. Very, very interesting. Sometimes we'll say this. We'll say, and I know this is a very tough topic. And the topic is homicides and things that happen within the Black community. And I was looking at some charts and some data, and some things just hit me. like a tidal wave. We're going to go over that when we come back before we get out of here. We got the wise words of wisdom coming up to end the show. This is Soapbox Heroes. My name is Tyrone Irvin. I will be right back. I'll be right back. I got to play this song, though. You know what I'm saying? COD. I deliver. Hey, y'all. Well, what you guys think? What you guys think about people getting evicted? And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, there are people out there who are just not handling their business, and I'm not trying to pay for nobody else. I hear that train of thought, but does that same thought process apply when we have, big businesses and big entities stealing money? Like, is stealing money different for poor people than it is for rich people? Is it a difference of who can steal the money? Who can steal the money? A poor person, let's say, in their lifetime, gets away with $20,000 worth of welfare fraud, right? How does that compare to one CEO who gets away with $50 million worth of fraud? Who gets judged more harshly? Who gets judged more harshly? Are you driving? I like this song. Yeah. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. We are back. We give to the needy, not the greedy. I ain't got nothing for you. Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I'm winding it down. We got 15 minutes left. We are going to have the wise words of wisdom. We always end the week like that. Before we go there, I want to talk about something that I was thinking about, because when we talk about homicides and when we talk about things that happen within the Black community. Sometimes it's a very, very taboo topic. And what I find is, I think it's the way that you approach it and its timing. And I understand those things. And so when you bring it up, oftentimes people, they'll give an antidote, something like this. They'll say, well, I don't want to talk about that because when Ray shoot Boo Boo, Ray goes to jail. And so that means, we no longer need to talk about it because I guess somebody goes to jail. And so since somebody goes to jail, I guess there's nothing to see here. And so it made me think about that. Well, what is that stat? What does that really look like? Does Ray always go to jail when he shoot Lil Boo Boo? All right, and so I went and looked at some national crime statistics, and then I boiled it down to I went to a large city. 22% of Black murder victims, only 22% of the cases are solved. All right, so 148 murders solved out of 687. And this is in a large metropolitan area, all right? It's Illinois, Chicago. And I don't want to make them just the test run or the guinea pig for these conversations, but they were very easy to pull up the data. And then even when you compare data nationally, it's very similar. It's not much higher. And so when we look at it again, 148 murders solved out of 687. So when people say we can't talk, we don't need to talk about that. When little Ray shoot little Boo Boo, little Boo Boo or little Ray go to jail. But that's only 22% of the time. That's a dismal amount. All right. And so then when we look at the same thing, 33% of Hispanic murder victims, crime go unsolved. And that's 37 murders solved out of 113. And when it comes to white people, 47% of murder victims are caught are murderers. All right. So 47% of the time in the white community, when somebody gets murdered, 47% of the time the killer gets caught. 33% of the time in the Hispanic community, 22% of the time in the Black community. And then look, the Asian community, they even have a higher rate of people who are prosecuted, a lower number, but as a percentage, they solve more of their crimes. And this is something that I noticed, and it hits me. It hits me like a ton of bricks. When you go and you look up median income in the country, oh man, when you look up median income in the country based on race, it coincides with these numbers. It coincides with these numbers completely. So Black people on the totem pole of who got the money on the big bank take little bank Hank chart of money, Black people are at the bottom. And being at the bottom, it correlates in so many different ways. And not only are we on the bottom economically, also on the bottom when it comes down to homicides solved. So I wonder if that has something to do with economics. And then after that, you have Hispanics. And Hispanics, they're second on the list at 33%. All right. So 33% of murders in the Hispanic community in this particular city are solved. So again, 22% for Black people, 33% for Hispanic people, 47% for white people, 54% for Asian people, 55% for Indian people of Indian descent. And if you look at the median income chart by race in the United States of America, the numbers are pretty much identical. And even the race of people match the numbers. The people with the most money, their crimes get figured out. The people with the least money, their crimes don't get figured out. They ain't worried about y'all. I ain't putting enough money in this municipal pot. And so when we look at these things and we boil them down, it's more than meets the eye. It's more than meets the eye. And so I want to know, let's say 22% of Black murder victims, right? So only 22% of murders get solved, all right? So that makes me want to ask about, what is that, 78%? So with the other 78% of the families who have to deal with the fact that murders are not being solved, where's the humanity? Where's the humanity? What about those people who are like, hey, you know, something happened to me and my family, and I'm part of the 78%. 22% is a fail. Right? If we're taking a test, just be quite frank, that's a fail. That's a big fat F. I mean, is there a such thing as an F minus? I gotta call parents and ask him, there's a such thing as an F minus. Because when it comes down to, African Americans, again, 22% of murders get solved. And so where's the humanity for all of these other people? And then I had a friend chime in on it, and she said this. She says, my son's murder is still unsolved. The detective literally told us that there are too many young Black men being murdered in LA to spend the time required investigating. Let me read that again. My son's murder is still unsolved. Again, we're talking about humanity, right? Where does my friend, how does she feel? How does this impact her? How does these numbers impact these families? Huh? I mean, can we not talk about it? I mean, y'all said that when Pookie killed Ray Ray, Pookie go to jail. The numbers are saying the opposite of that. So can we talk about it, since that analogy doesn't really fit the criteria of the data that it's showing? Can we talk about it? My son's murder is still unsolved. The detective literally told us there are too many young Black men being murdered in LA to spend the time required investigating. And again, yes, I get the bootstrap thing. Well, you guys just stop killing each other. That's also true. But we also have about the social economic problems and the things surrounding and the mindset and the history and all these things that it takes to get there. I mean, well-adjusted people aren't just waking up like, hey, let me just shoot somebody today. It's a pathology. It's things that are presented to you through your eyes, through your ears, get to your soul, things that you see presented from the time that you were born and as you grow up, the abject poverty, looking and reaching and want something more. And I understand, see, yes, you can. But you have to be able to believe that you can and do it. And a lot of people just don't have the belief. If you've never been to France, you don't know what the Eiffel Tower looked like aside from a picture. And so, no, I'm definitely not giving a pass or saying that it's right for the numbers to be the way that they are. But just because they are that high, and I'm not going to reduce it by saying just because the numbers are that high, but investigations still should be taking place with the same amount of money and resources that go into rich people. Yeah, I said it. Because a life is a life, right? Humanity is humanity, right? Is rich humanity different than poor humanity? Is humanity for Black people different than humanity for other races? I mean, that would make it no longer humanity, right? That would make it no longer humanity if I'm mistaken. Let me do something real quick. Let's look this up. Look this up real quick. Humanity, definition, all right? Noun, the human race, human beings collectively, all right? Synonyms, humankind, the human race, the human species, mankind, man, people, all right? Mortals, Homo sapiens, you know, you upright walking things with thumbs, you're a Homo sapien. Where's the humanity? Where's the humanity? Let me go down and give you another definition. What does humanity mean? Merriam-Webster. You guys believe Merriam-Webster? You know, with a name like Merriam-Webster, no, they can't lie. Definition of humanity: 1, compassion, sympathetic, or generous behavior or disposition. The quality or state of being, bespoken humanity before the enemy in the midst of a bloody struggle. C.G. Bowers. The humanity. Get over here and do this real quick. Pops, you there? How you feeling? How are you feeling this evening? That's good. That's good. I had to talk about humanity tonight because it seems like it's being missing. I hear these politicians yourself. It's simple, man. It's easy. It's easy. But hey, man, look, it's the end of the week. I haven't been here this week. I've been out running and gunning and trying to make some other things happen. But you know we don't miss Fridays. You know we do our best to end the show the way that we want to end the show. And so what we like to do is my pops, he does these wise words of wisdom. I think they're wonderful. And apparently other people think they're wonderful too. We'll get calls about it. I'll get people asking me about the wise word of wisdom when we miss. And so, Dad, I think we're going to have to do some extra ones next week to catch up. What do you think?
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, you guys, look, I know you've had enough of me. It is time for me to take a bow and back out gracefully. I love you guys. I am glad that everybody that sat and listened today, you guys are the greatest. Without you guys, I would just be talking to myself like I do the other 22 hours of the day that I'm not here. But look, Pops, go ahead and let's get the wide word of wisdom so we can get out of here.
White law enforcement is not new. What is new in recent years, technology mixed with social unjust climate has a black community ready to record an instant. Unfortunately, these people red-handed murdering someone is not looking up to prosecute. And the mainstream media has a way of offering the story for sensationalism at first, and then disseminating the information in a way to lie or thoughts about what actually happened. And what this attorney does, all sensationalism, okay. Rise wisdom on Soapbox Heroes, 208 or 30.